I would like to talk to you about the role of culture and culture organizations, a culture manager and artist in a conflict zone. And according to my experience, my background, where I come from, I would like to talk about the challenging facing artists and culture managers in the conflict zone. We're talking about respond from the culture organization to a transition related to circumstances, considering the circumstances to do with conflict. In a conflict environment, there is no infrastructure that organizations could based on or follow a certain rule and regulations. Transitions in a global terms could affect any field of our life, economically, politically, socially, and how culture confront is changing according to a reality that's facing a certain part of our life, a certain part of our planet that people are living on. I mean by rule and regulation to follow is systematically working within a framework could easily helping you to plan ahead, having a plan and a strategy. To be able to set up a program could be executed in a certain time. This is impossible in area with conflict because the changing happens so rapidly, it's happen in any time. And it's also something else could challenge culture organization or culture generally. In the environment, the priority is not the culture. The priority in conflict goes mainly to a human rights side. Aid for displaced people, people suffering from lack of a daily basis needs as electricity, perhaps water supply, economic crisis affecting people generally. And I think it's very hard to find a specific definition of what culture and culture manager have to do in a conflict zone. Because every single area with conflict have a specific circumstances. People would love to maintain what they have as an identification, but in a conflict circumstances, sometimes those valuable elements in human life could face a risk. For example, in Iraq and Syria, the cultural protection heritage has become a very, very important point. A city demolished, ethnic religions lived for 1,000 years in a specific area, now they vanished, they disappeared. Historical site, which is belong to the human history for 1,000 years, demolished, about completely disappear, language about to disappear. What culture and culture organization and culture manager and artist supposed to do towards all this, I could put in a bracket, a crisis facing a humanity. I think based on my personal experience, I could just say that for culture organization and cultural institution to be able workingly effective in that environment, they cannot rely on local support. When you face a crisis, culture did not become a priority. Art is not a priority. Education is not a priority, which it shouldn't be, but that's just how the realities are. What's our response? And how we make those in the power to understand the value of those elements in our life. I think we need international collaboration. We need support from international institutions who operating in those areas. I'm afraid we have many organizations we've seen many international arts fair, biennales, conferences, art organization. Yes, they have a different objective. We might, in the end, have a common ground of working on a value of culture and art. So I think facing the terms of a conflict, it need a unified a culture. Those who have an influence in a cultural field to come together and to work together and have agenda. And when you have agenda, when you gather those strong voices in a field of culture, you have more influence on politician. And in this case, the politician take whatever the suggestion, whatever the act those unified group present in account. And this way, we might not going to have a major effect, but at least we can see some movement, some step forward. Unless we don't have this reunification, I don't think so. In cultural field, same than in a politician, have expected influence and effect on what's happening currently in our world.